Hello, party guests. Rachel here. The answer in advance is that you're going to be watching this on the replay. So if you see this, comment replay. Reason being is I picked a recipe called pasta with avocado sauce that I wanted to make. And the recipe has you put things in the blender, but just use it like a regular blender. So I don't know if this recipe is old, like before Pampered Chef had the deluxe cooking blender. So I'm going to try to adapt this recipe to the blender. Who knows how it's going to go, but either way, I'm going to post the results. It's Rachel here, realizing that my avocados are not quite ripe. I almost murdered this one trying to get the pit out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slice the other one in half. I am going to, not in a beautiful way, get the pit out of it, so nothing to show you guys. But I'm going to put them in the microwave for a little bit to see if I can get them soft enough for my next step. All right, you guys, so I figured I'd bring you a little closer here to my workstation. I've got my artificially ripened avocados, and somebody told me recently that I say avocado weird, and now I can't figure out if I say avocado or avocado and if I'm just overthinking it. But you know what, we're gonna get two of these fruits in here. And so again, I'm making it in the deluxe cooking blender because it cooks, so I don't know if this recipe is going to come out completely perfect or if I'm gonna have to add, oh gosh, I think this one still wasn't ripe enough. Still hard to get out of here. Or if I'm gonna have to add some more liquid. Let's get this one. Yeah, that one comes out. Clearly, you guys, I do not use avocado very often. I'm not making guacamole and things like that in my household very much. I've got very, very picky kids, and so it's just not something that's usually on our menu. So I'm just gonna cut. But you guys get the idea of how this tool was supposed to help me cut it in half and then get the pit out of it, but yeah, we'd have to use a little extra help there. So the recipe has 2 avocados. It has 1 cup of warm water. But again, if I need to add more, if it seems like it's too thick once it gets going, I will. Also 3 tablespoons of guacamole mix. Oops, I picked my one that was not open yet. Oh well, I had to open this brand new one. I'm sure that I'll find the other one sometime and hopefully we'll get through enough of this. But I'm doing 3 tablespoons. 2. And 3. The other thing it tells you to add is cilantro. So the cilantro that I had rinsed and forgotten to pat dry, because of course I did. But our new knife this season, the serrated nylon knife, it works as an herb stripper. So I can just, maybe the smallest one. And then you got the leaves that you can flop in. So I'm gonna do that with a couple of them. Okay, and I didn't do a ton because some people think cilantro tastes like soap. And so if my recipe doesn't taste good, I did not want it to be because I put too much cilantro. So I put just a little bit. And then if I were to make the recipe as described later on, I would be dicing onions and putting that in the pasta. And I, again, don't like chunks of onion. So I'm just gonna put that in the blender and have it blended into this sauce, okay? So I'm going to go to my, what do I need for sauce? Heated puree. No, there's a sauce option. And I'm gonna press start. And so it is going to heat up to 176 degrees. And so the way that this does this is it blends, obviously, and then it'll heat up a little bit more and blend some more and heat up a little bit more. But I do think the last time I made a sauce, it took about 20 minutes or so. So this is gonna take a while. The next thing that I'm gonna do that is not gonna be interesting is I'm gonna go ahead and make the pasta in my stock pot. But I am gonna save a cup of the leftover starchy water in case I need to thin this out later on. All right, it calls for an entire pound of pasta, so I am just going to put my linguine into the boiling water. Still a-cooking. We are at 187 degrees here, and you can see that this is a very blended and smooth, creamy avocado sauce puree that we've got going on. So I am just heating up some oil in my wok because I don't get to use my wok enough, so I wanted to show that off a little bit today. And I've got my frozen corn that I was supposed to have thawed, but you know, there you go. And then the recipe also calls for peppers. I don't like peppers, and I'm gonna actually be eating this one, so we're gonna do bacon. I'm gonna crumble it up a little bit here with my mix and chop. This is leftover bacon from breakfast this morning, and we're just gonna put that in there. Alrighty. So we are going to put our whole pound of pasta in. And we are going to add our sauce that we made here in the blender. And again, we do have that starchy pasta water to help thin it out. So let's get everything out of here that we can. Turn that down a little. There we go. And I am going to add a little bit of that. And another ingredient was a cheese that I was not familiar with. Cotija cheese, maybe? C-O-T-I-J-A. So I've got feta because we like feta. So I am just going to stir this around, toss in a little feta, put some on a plate, and come live and taste it. So one feature of the blender that I always forget to mention is that it cleans itself. So what I've done here is I put 3 cups of water in there, a couple drops of soap, and then there is a heated wash feature. I'm already tasting this. Because it heats up, it actually cleans. So of course it's not going to clean like what's stuck in between the lid and the blender at the edge. But the important part is that you never have to touch a sharp blade. So if you make margaritas and you fall asleep and the next morning you're like, crap, I didn't clean the blender, you don't have to worry about that gunky stuff stuck on the blades because it's going to clean itself. But here is how my creamy avocado pasta turned out. I will post the recipe. So if you want to make it the original way, which includes peppers, which includes more onion, which includes a very particular cheese that I don't have and doesn't have bacon, you can. It's still very steamy hot. It is creamy. It is light. It is not a very thick sauce. So I think if I made it again, since I'm adapting it my way anyway, I would probably have a third avocado just to make it greener and to make a little bit more texture. But yeah, not bad at all. I'll post the original recipe. See ya.